Hello everyone, my name is Sayed. Today in this class we are going to discuss about the calling privileges. So first we will see the chapter objectives, overview of the calling privileges, what exactly this calling privileges, then calling privileges configuration elements, partition and calling search space, that is the CSS, time of day routing or time of day call routing, then CMC and fact. Okay, CMC fact which is coming under the calling privileges, but already we have covered this CMC and fact in the last class here, this one. So let's begin with the calling privilege overview. What exactly this calling privilege is? Okay, calling privileges control the available components of the call routing database that are accessible to an endpoint. The primary application of the calling privileges is implementation of class of service cost. It is used to control toll fraud by blocking costly numbers. Privileges means you are giving the permissions. You are giving the permissions. So we have a different types of numbers. Emergency number, local number, national number, international number, toll-free number. There are different types of numbers we have this one. Okay. When there is a user, okay, that user, what type of the number the user can able to type. So that we are defining under the calling privilege. That means giving the permission this one. See here. Okay. Cost is used to control toll fraud by blocking costly numbers. Costly numbers means international, it's a costly number that time. Okay, you are the normal user, this one. I want to give permission only to make local and emergency number. So I don't want to give the permission to make international call that one. So that is how we can be provided a different permission, what type of the number the user can able to be typed. That can be configured by using the calling privileges. Okay, calling privileges can also be used to implement special applications such as THO, tail and hop off. Okay, what is this THO? This is my CUCM headquarters. There are some phones are registered. And this is the gateway. And this is my India office. Okay. There is another office in US. Okay. Here also we are having the phone. IP phone, this one. Now what we can connect, we have an internet connection, ISP. I can be connect from ISP to US here in this one. Then also we have the PSTN connection. Yeah. Now there is one user where in US there is one mobile number we have. There is one mobile number. So for example, +1, then 93164702. That's the US number, and that's a PSTN subscriber. That's a PSTN subscriber. Now, whenever I want to make a call from India to US, from this IP phone to this IP phone, call will be route via internet. We can able to communicate from India office to US office. There is another user, another IP phone. I can able to make the call. I can be communicate. There is no issue with this one. Now I want to make a call to this guy. Okay, from here. So when I'm trying to make a call from here, this is the international number, right? And again, this is not my, it's under my control. My control in the sense that is not into my infrastructure. That's a PSTN subscriber number. What we can do here, this one, whenever you want to make a call, suppose if the call is routing from India, from the PSTN, it's an international charges. Yes or no? Now, what we can do here in this one, we can set up like this. Whenever if I want to make any US number, any subscriber number, my call has to go via internet to the US gateway. From the US gateway, locally it has goes to the PSTN. From here it's connect. Then it become what? Local charges. Right? It's a national call, and the charges will be local charges. For the same call, if the call is routing from Indian PSTN, then it will be international charger. It's more expensive, right? So for this type of setup, we call TO, tail end hop off.
It goes with the SD1, sir.
That is the internet, whatever it may be, SD-WAN. Okay. But doing this type of call in India, it's illegal. This is only I'm giving example here, this one. THO means what? THO setup means what? This kind of setup here, this one. Now in the US, I have an office. UK, I'm having an office. From the US to UK, they can set up. If the country is in the UK, which country you are configuring, if there is no any telecom regulatory over there, then you can set up. But US, we don't have any telecom regulatory. There is no issue that one. But countries like Japan, Singapore, India, Hong Kong, all these things, we have some restrictions here in this one. So this is only the example I have given this one. So this is how the setup we can make it. When you make this type of setup, what happens? You require the calling privileges. Without calling privileges, it's not possible to set up the THO. Got it? So that is the THO concept. Next, the calling privileges will also be used for the time of day routing. What is this time of day routing? For an example, you are supporting for one product. ABC is the product. You are supporting the customer care you have, or technical support, something you have. But this is the US based company. In the US, they have given one toll-free number. Okay. In the US, what happened? If morning 6 to evening 6, if anybody calls to that particular toll-free number, the call has to go to US, where the engineers are sitting in US office. After 6 p.m. till morning 6 a.m., if the call comes, they are dialing the same number. But this is the time. See, morning 6 to evening 6, if they are dialing, automatically call has to connect locally in the US office itself. There we have a separate dedicated team. They will take care. In the US night time, means after 6 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. if they are dial, now the call has to come to India. In the US, it's a night, but in India, it's a day. We have two teams. One team sitting in India, one team sitting in US. Okay, both they are supporting. 12 hours supporting by the US team, 12 hours supporting by the India. But the customers, when they are dialing, they are not dialing two numbers. They are dialing single number. Single number they dial morning 6 to evening 6, the call goes to the US. After 6 p.m., if they are dialing, the call comes to the India. So they think that one they are giving the 24/7, but actually the engineers they are sitting from the India. For this type of setup, okay, it's called time of day routing. For again, this also we require the calling privileges to enable the THO, okay, to enable the time of day routing features, and also what type of the number you want to block some custodian's number, then we require calling privileges. Without calling privileges, it's not possible to implement all these features. Got it? Clear? Okay, calling privileges configuration elements. We have partition and CSS. This is the main two elements we have, partition and CSS. Then time periods, time schedule. This is the part of the time of day routing. If you want to implement the time of day routing, along with the partition and CSS, also you require time period and time schedule. Next element is CMC and FAT, client matter code and force authorization code. So that you will be defining whenever you want to make external call, some more code we require to be timed out, then only the call is going to be routed this one. So we'll be discuss this one, what exactly in detail this partition and CSS. Okay. In interview also they'll be asked, what is the partition and CSS? And also if the calls are not working, incoming call is not working, outgoing call is not working due to some reason, okay, maybe the issue with the partition and CSS. If the partition and CSS is not matching, the calls will be not. Okay, it may affect to incoming also, it may affect to outgoing also. And also if you go to the interview, it's not, if it is Cisco projects, in the non-Cisco nobody will ask. If it is Cisco project, for sure, out of 10, minimum in 6 interviews, they are going to be asking about this partition and CSS. Again, depend. If it is a L3 you are giving, L2 senior they are giving, they are not going to be asked. For L1 senior, L2 engineer, obviously they are going to be asking about what is partition and what is CSS. Okay, the first we have the partition, then we have the CSS. So next partition and CSS. So what is partition? See, there are different types of numbers we can be create within the call manager. Example, you have the phone. For the phone, you can be assigned the number. That's called what? DN, dialed number, we can be say that one. So like there are other different numbers we can be configured. Example, route pattern. That also a number, right? Translation pattern. That also a number. Meet me number. That also a number. Like this, we can be configured different types of numbers. DN, route pattern, translation pattern, meet me number for the concept. Okay. There are different numbers, CTA ports. We can be configured. When we configure all this type of number, for every number, the partition we can be assigned. Okay. Means any number you are configuring which is having the ability to dial, means that number if you can able to dial, for that number you can be assigned the partition, and partition is just a name. Partition is just a name. You can give any name. Name 1, name 2, name 3, name 4, name 5, whatever you can give that one. It's just a name, but that name we are assigning to any dialable numbers within the call manager. Example, DN, route pattern, translation pattern, meet me number, any CTA port numbers. So that's a partition. So in an interview, if they are asked, if you give the same answer, that's an answer. Okay. Now, let's see what we are. Partition is a group of dialable patterns with a similar accessibility. Right? Dialable number means what? Pattern means what? Any number which you can able to be dialed. For that, it's a partition. Any dialable pattern in CUSM can be assigned to a partition. All phone numbers in the null partition by default, all devices have the access to null partition. Okay, by default, whatever the number you create, that is into null partition. That is what? This third bullet point defines. Any number assigned to a partition is logically segmented from the rest of the dial plan. Any entry in the call routing database like voicemail port, directory number, route pattern, translation pattern, meet me conference number, and so on can be assigned to a partition. We have a different numbers like DN number, route pattern, translation pattern, meet me number, voicemail port number. For every this number, we can be assigned the partition. When you are assigning a partition, you are segregating. When you are assigning a partition, you are doing what? Segregating. Segregating means you are making a group. For an example, there are 100 users are there. Okay. 20 users is one group. Another 20 is one group. Another 20. How you can make a group? In general, anything you want to make a group, how you can make it out? Either you can give some code, your number, color, something you can give, right? For an example, we have one country. Many states we have this one. Okay. Every country we are having a border. We have a territory that one. So that is how you are segregating that one. You are dividing that one. So by using the partition, what happens when you have a different types of number, you are making it as a one group. For different group, you are making that one. That's a partition actually. This is only for your understanding. I'm giving this one. But if you go to the interview, you just say, okay, any dialable number in the call manager can be assigned to one partition. For an example, any DN number, route pattern number, translation pattern number, meet me number, voicemail number, port we have. For every, these are the dialable number. For this, every number we can be assigned the partition. Either we can assign same partition or different partition. Next, CSS. Okay, CSS stands for calling search space. It's very simple. CSS defines which partition the user can be reached. Which partition user can be reached. Okay, under CSS we can be associate multiple partitions. CSS contains which partitions user can be reached here. This one. Okay, CSS defines which partition are accessible to a particular device. A device can only call patterns that are in the partition accessible by the calling devices. The calling party device must have the CSS that include the partition of the call pattern. What exactly this? When I do the practical, you'll be understand that one. Or in the next slide, you'll be understand. This is how the bullet points you have. You have to remember because in the interview they'll ask about this partition and CSS questions you'll be getting under. Example. Say, I'm having totally 5 phones. Phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, phone 4, phone 5. Then I have created partition. Partition is what? It's just a name. You can give any name. Example, lobby PT, employee PT, manager PT, no partition, manager PT. That's a totally how many partitions we have? 3. One is the lobby partition, employee partition is second, manager partition is third. Here also manager partition. So how many partitions we have created? 3 partitions we have created. The name is lobby, employee and manager. Now what I'm doing for this phone 1, I'm assigning the lobby partition. Phone 2, I'm assigning the employee partition. Phone 3, I'm assigning the manager partition. Phone 5 also I'm assigning the manager partition. Okay. Now, after that, I'm creating CSS. Again, CSS also it's a name. Any name you can give this one. Now, something CSS I'm having. Let me write it down because it's missing here. CSS1, CSS2, CSS3, CSS4. Like how many CSS I have created? 4 CSS. Under this CSS, there are multiple partitions you'll be getting. So there are 2 partitions we have. One is the lobby, one is the employee. Means first you have to create a partition. Then you have to create a CSS. Under the CSS, whatever the partition you want, you can be associate. Okay. Now under the CSS one, how many partitions we have? 2 partitions. Which are those? Lobby partition and employee partition. Now this CSS I am assigning to this. Which one? CSS we are assigning to the phone 1. Okay. Got it now the concept? Getting this one. Now I want to dial from phone 1 to phone 2. Is it possible to dial? Because whenever you want to dial, if the partition and CSS is applied, it's going to check it out. Oh, what CSS I'm having? CSS1. Under that CSS, what number you are dialing, that is into one partition. Employee partition. Okay. Check it out under your CSS, that partition is exist or not. Employee. Then only I can able to dial here. Now I want to dial from phone 1 to phone 3. Is it possible? Now it's not possible. Okay. Hold on. You have the CSS. Okay. The destination also under the partition, manager partition. But under your CSS, you don't have the destination partition. Then here it's not possible to dial. Here I can dial. But here it's not possible to dial here this one. Okay. Next, can I able to dial to phone 5? Here also it's not now possible because here also we have the manager partition. But under my CSS, I don't have any partition here, this one. Now, can I dial to phone 4? Because phone 4, I don't have any partition here. Can you see this one? That's the default. Okay, I have not assigned any partition. Now I want to dial from the phone 1 to phone 4. How?
There is no partition, we can partition.
But it is having the CSS. Can you see this one? CSS 4 is created and this CSS 4 we have applied to this phone 4. You have to consider everything, partition, CSS, everything you have here. You can able to call the.
The CSS has already CSS is kind of created and it's not mentioned in CSS. But in the quantity device, it's certain the partition. The partition is not created, but CSS is created, so it's not possible to call.
Check it out with the senior, more senior.
Not possible.
Not possible. No? See, phone 4 don't have any partition, right? Now, whenever you want to dial, you have the CSS. Under that CSS partition should be contained. The destination partition is exists under the CSS one. It's there. Where? And then can you able to dial from phone 1 to phone 4? Default means what? Okay.
But in the CSS program, we have access for lobby partition.
That is different. Now from the phone 1, I can able to dial to the phone 4. Whenever you take any phone, if you are not assigning any partition, that means no partition assigned. This is called non-partition. Right? If no partition is assigned means what? Non-partition means there is no partition. Every CSS will contain non-partition. Every CSS contains non-partition, but you cannot see that one. You cannot see, but every CSS will be containing the non-partition. You are dialing to the phone 4, that is into non-partition, but my CSS contains the non-partition, right? Because by default, every partition, you take any partition, okay? Default partition, default means non-partition, default partition. Default means default partition, default CSS. That is a none. Okay, every CSS contains the non-partition by default. So I can able to dial to the phone 4. That is how actually partition and CSS was. So he is having one phone. What number he is dialing? That number into one partition. Whatever the number. That number partition should contain under his CSS. Then only it's possible to dial. So in his CSS, if that partition is not exist, then it's not possible to dial. So I am the user when I'm dialing number 123. Oh, 123. 123 is in partition B. Okay, I'll go to my CSS. Under my CSS, do I have the 123 partition under my CSS? Yes, then I can able to dial. No, it's not possible to dial.
What error?
It's not possible to dial. Busy town.
So is it possible to make a call from 4 to 413?
Okay, which one you are talking about?
Phone 4.
Phone 4, yes.
Because we have there is no partition, so as it's
From the phone 4, you can call only to the phone 1. Because you have the lobby partition CSS. If you go, you can reach only to this partition. Other employee, manager, it's not possible because under your CSS, you don't have that partitions, right?
but there is a none partition.
Where is none? Where is none partition phone here?
Other phone can call.
Okay, for example, another phone I am having, you're talking, where there is no CSS partition. Yes, I can dial. But till now we were dialing, right? Phones we have registered. I have not created any partition CSS. I'm dialing, so it's going with a none.
So from 1, 2, 3, 4, we can dial to
It's
phone
very simple. From which phone you are dialing, that phone should be contain CSS. Okay. Under CSS, partition will be there. What partition is listed under CSS, only to that number you can go. Other number is not possible. That is how very simple. Now, if this partition CSS is mismatched, call will be not out. That is what. Sometimes what happens, this one you are unable to dial out. maybe the issue with partition CSS. You remember yesterday we have discussed for the DNA, dial number analyzer. Okay. The calls are not routing. Okay. The calls are not routing. Maybe the issue with the partition and CSS, or you are dialing the wrong pattern number, or what number you are dialing, there is no pattern is matching, or maybe some translation pattern is created which is not manipulating properly that one. There may be any issue. So, but checking all this thing individually it will be very difficult. So that's the reason we have a tool called DNA, dial number analyzer. If any mismatch, we easily comes to know and we can see the call flow within the call manager. Okay, so next what we have, time of day routing. Okay, so we have the CSS. See, there are two CSS I have created. How many? Two. One CSS name is line CSS. Another CSS name is device CSS. Under the line CSS, there are three partitions. Partition L1, L2, L3. Under the device CSS, partition D1, D2, D3. Okay. Now this CSS, you can be applied on the device page, on the line page. Where you can apply? On line also you can be applied. Device also you can apply. Suppose there are two different CSS you have created. One you are applying on the line, one you are applying on the device. Now which one it takes?
Line.
It will be combined both. It will be combined both. See here, resulting is what? Partition L1, L2, L3, partition D1, D2, D3. It's combining both and it will be one. Okay. Suppose priority you want to give, then it will be give the line for the more priority. Okay. When, how exactly that one, we'll see when we do the practicals. Next is the time of day routing. So before we get into that one, so let's do the practicals here in this one. So what I'm going to do, let me bring some phones here. So this is my phone. Can you see this one? And let me bring another phone also.
What was the issue? It was not released in the file.
The firewall was blocking. Okay. So now these are the two phones I'm having. Okay. 6012013, 6012014. Both are the internal phones, internally registered. Now I'm going to dial 6012014. See, it's ringing, right? So end the call here, this one. Now what I'm going to do, I have the another phone. Let me dial. That's a hard phone, 6012002. My phone is ringing there. Okay. Ring out. Even my phone is ringing. I'll end the call on this one. Okay. Fine. So I want to dial. There is another phone here. This is the external phone. Can you see this one? This is the PSTN phone. From here, I want to dial to 6012013. Okay, maybe on that day I have not saved the configuration. So that's the reason it's not ringing, no issue. But there is another phone. I'm going to dial from there, 6012013. See, I'm dialing from the hard phone. It's having the extension 6012001. So I'm getting a call. So I'll disconnect. Why? Because when I'm dialing by default, it's working. There is no issue this one. And also I'm going to be dialed from here 101. Okay. Quickly, let me check it out if there is any configuration is mismatch on the gateways because the calls are not working from the outside to inside, inside to outside. Okay. I'm sure there is an issue with dial peers here. Show dial peer voice summary. Okay. Yes, we have a dial peer which is targeting to 2002 if number is coming. no issues, but why it's not working?
What's like white white pen here?
Quickly, let me create a dial here. Dial here voice 601. It's a web dial here. Destination pattern 60120 dot. Then session target IPv4 colon 142.100.64.201. Then session protocol SIP version 2. And no, straight down. Okay. So, okay, maybe this is we have creating to go outside. Okay. Now let me dial 6012013. Now it's coming the call. Okay. Perfect. Here this one. Okay. Now by this time maybe can we dial to the okay 9101? Yes, it's working. Now I want to save this configuration. Perfect. Okay. See, these are my two internal phones. And this is the two internal phones, and this is my external phone. So from everywhere the call is routing now. Why? Because even I have the physical hard phone, it's ringing, getting call and everything. Why? Because by default, none partition will be having. Now we'll create a new partitions. Okay. We create some partition and CSS will be creating. But in a company, if you go, like internal phones you have, right? You take any phone, they create a single partition for all the phones. They create a single partition. How many phones you will be registering? It will be created for only that one. Sometimes, or sometimes one location. For example, Bangalore you have. Bangalore, how many phones you have? For dedicatedly one partition will be creating. It's not like one on phone, one on partition. All the phones, it will be in one partition. This is how it.
For example, like all for single company.
None. By default, everyone, none, everywhere. So everywhere we can reach. Okay. Now, why? Because at least I want to give the permission to make internally. Within my company, I want to give, I don't want to give restriction to dial within the company, right? So I want to dial any other colleague, any other department, HR department, finance department. Internally, I want to communicate. I don't want to restrict internally. When I am going to restrict, only when it is going outside. Okay, let me log in. Let me see who is this first phone. 6012013, then 2014. There are two phones we have this one. So for this, first we have to create what? Partition. So for this, I'll go to the call routing. I'll go to the class of control. Can you see this one? Okay. Here we have partition. See, find to see if there is any partition. There are default partitions we have. Now I want to create a new partition. Add new, and partition is just a name. Internal all, comma. See, this is my partition name, internal all. Okay. Comma, space and whatever you type, that is, it takes as a description. It's not mandatory. You can give the description. You can give the description. Always use the description so that easily you can be identified. Even some other engineer is logging and checking something, easily they can understand. Internal all. So what is the description?
Internal partition.
For all internal calls. Okay. Now, if I save, it will be create a partition. At the same time, you can create multiple partition. Okay. What you can do? So go to the second line. You can give whatever the name here is one. Emergency. Okay. Here instead of all, hyphen PT. Internal PT. Okay. PT. Emergency call 101.
Second partition.
Yes. I'm creating in one shot multiple partitions. Okay. Then you want to give international hyphen PT. International calls. Say I'm saving here this one. Very simple. It's just a name. Now can you see this one? Emergency partition created, internal partition created, international party created, and also description it has created. That's how you can be create a partition. It's very simple. Now I'll go to my phones. I'll go to my phone. Every number, whenever you're assigning, you have to assign the partition. Okay. The number is here, Arbaz Khan. This one. I'm getting into that one. This is the phone. 6012013. See, 6012013. Click on this one. See, this is the number you have given. Under this one, you have the route partition. If you go here, now how many partitions you have created, you will get all the list. Now it should be internal PT. Say this one.
B1's partition.
No, partition will be assigning to the numbers. Partition will be assigning to whom? Numbers. Any number. DN, route pattern, translation pattern, meet me number, this one. Okay. Now, I'm going to apply this configuration. Okay. And also I'm going to reset this. We just restart and close. This is my phone. Okay. This is another phone. See, this phone don't have any partition, but this phone having the partition. Only partition, no CSS. Still we have not created anything. Now, can we able to make the call from this phone to this phone?
Yes.
Simply don't tell someone is telling yes, yes. Everyone don't tell yes, yes.
We can dial from this number to that number. From that number, we cannot dial to this number.
Can we dial?
Giving us some time.
Huh?
The board. Correct one answer is correct.
No. So I'm dialing 6012014. It's going to ring. Because here I have assigned the partition, but there is no CSS, right? What CSS I'm having by default? None CSS. None CSS can reach to none partition. But what number you are dialing? 2014. You are into which partition? None partition. None CSS can reach to none partition, right? Yes, sir. Now can we dial from here to here?
Yes. No, yes, sir. No, this is.
Huh? Fast, we don't have time. You. It's not possible to dial. How it's possible to dial? I'm dialing 6012013. I'm dialing.
It should contain the CSS.
Because I have the non CSS. Non CSS can reach to none partition. But you are into explicit partition, right? Huh? How it's possible to reach?
But none CSS is also having one partition.
None CSS to none partition. None CSS to
Partition.
partition. How we can use it? You are not into none partition. The partition is assigned here, right? It's very simple. What CSS is applied under that CSS, what partition is contained. But in an interview, they'll confuse with the none. Okay. So they'll ask this one and they'll type a phone A you have, phone B you have, phone A partition you have, phone B partition you have, phone CSS A you have, CSS B you have, under CSS A this partition it will be get okay. So what CSS? Under that CSS, what partitions are there? Other end, what partition is there? Under my CSS, that partition is exists, then I can reach. Got it? That's how very simple we have this one. Clear now? Now I am going to create a CSS. So check it out. By default, there is any CSS. Add new. Okay. CSS hyphen INTR internal for all internal calls. Now under this CSS, which partition I am giving? Internal partition. Select here this one. Save this one. Okay. Now I'll go to the device, go to the phone. I'll go to this phone, Nadeem phone. For this Nadeem phone, I am going to assign the part CSS. So we can be assign the CSS on the device page. Calling such space. Can you see this one? CSS by default is what? None. Now I'm going to assign the internal partition. Save this one. Okay. Apply the configuration. Restart the phone once. Okay, I have these two phones. Now tell me from where to where I can able to dial or where to where it's not possible to dial.
We have CSS. Yes, internal.
Okay, from this phone to this phone, is it possible to dial?
Yes.
Okay, from this phone to this phone, is it possible to dial? Huh?
We have created system, but this one you have the CSS. These are the second one. From 214 we can dial to 213 because
214. Who is 214?
2014. Sorry, 2014.
Okay, from 2014, can we dial to 2013?
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Line में क्या मिलेगा?
Yes, yes. इंटरनल है तो बाहर में दूसरा निकल गया तो मालूम नहीं उसके बाद क्या हो जाए. Yes, sir.
Possible. Let's try. So let's dial 6012013. It rings or not? Huh? It rings. I have assigned the CSS internal here. Under the CSS internal, we have what? One partition. Not null. Partition one. So This partition is already exist. Now, can we dial from 2013 to 2014? One is over. Okay, second question. From can we dial 2013 to 2014?
Yes, sir, we can dial. Hey, you can. Yes, yes, sure. Because that phone is in non-partition, you can dial. Which one is the this eight. This section.
Come on, come on.
Yes, sir.
Ring or not?
No.
It rings. See, I'm going to write it down here now. This number, whatever we have assigned one partition. Okay, that is a internal partition we have assigned. This number, whatever we have, this is into null partition because we have not assigned any partition. Okay. Then coming to device CSS, here CSS internal we have assigned. Under this, it will be contained the internal PT. Now from this 4, when I am dialing this number is already into the partition. But also I have the CSS. That CSS contain my partition. So that's the reason I can able to dial. Over. Okay. Coming to here, my CSS is null. That means I don't have any CSS. I am dialing this number. What partition it's having? Null. Null CSS to null partition can reach, right? So that's the reason it's ringing. Both the way it's ringing. I don't know why you guys are getting confused. Why? That's it, right? Okay. Now I am going to create one more partition. Already we have created one partition, right? International partition. Now we create a CSS. Class of service. See, CSS internal, that one. I'm going to add new CSS hyphen EM emergency I'm creating. Okay, which partition for the emergency? This is what, right? Emergency PT. Okay, and also I'm going to contain internal PT in that. CSS EM can be reached to so it can be reached to emergency number even for internal number. Now I'll go to the phone 2. Sorry, phone 1. Okay, phone 1 I'm going. Arbaz Khan's. So here we have the calling search space. CSS EM. I'm assigning this one. All right, let me bring that phones up. Both the phones, phone 1 and phone 2. This is my external phone. Okay. First, now you tell me from where to where we can reach, where to where it's not possible.
Sir, for the 101 in the route pattern, you need to assign a partition. But they are dialing internally, right? 101 is not. 0 is the
Tell me fast. From 2013, can we dial to 2014?
Possible.
From 2013, can we dial 2014?
Yes. Which partition? Possible. Null, CSS number two or null.
We have a CSS now here.
We can dial from where we cannot dial.
My question is 2013 to 2014. Is it possible to dial? Yes, no. Yes, yes, no.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Both possible. Yes, sir.
Elru yes ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಾನು yes ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಹಿಂಗಡೆ ಅವರು everyone saying yes even I say.
Yes.
Let's try 6012014. I know many of them confused, still they are telling yes, yes, even including this guy. Because I am having a CSS, but this phone doesn't have the partition. Any CSS can reach to null partition. That's the reason it's possible to reach this part. Okay. Now it is having the CSS, right?
Yes.
CSS, what CSS it's having?
Emergency.
CSS EM it's having, which contains internal and emergency number. What is my emergency number? 101 is my emergency number. Where is this 101? This guy. Now, can I able to dial from here to here 101?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 9101 actually. It's reaching. Right? But it should,
You have not assigned partition to that.
but still it's reaching. How? Through the null partition it's taking. But actually what I had to do, I had to go to the translation pattern, route pattern, sorry. Okay, go to the route pattern. Nine one zero one is the route pattern. Go to this. Till now we have assigned the partition to numbers DN. Now we are assigning the partition to route pattern. So can you see this one route partition here? Okay, which one we have to assign here? Emergency partition. Save this one. Now, before to this, even if you dial from here also, it will be reaching. Now, if you dial 101, it will not reach. Can you see this one? 99101. See, it's not possible. Because what CSS you have, does not contain your emergency partition. But you go here, 9101, now you can able to dial. See, it's ringing here, this one. Got it? This is how we can be configure partition and CSS. So they'll ask the questions for sure, like this. Can we read this? It's very simple. What CSS? What partition is contained? Okay. The number which you are dialing, that number's partition is exist or not in your CSS. It's very simple. I have given 5 tickets to you. How many?
5 tickets.
5 tickets I have given. Now you want to go to Mysore. Okay. Mysore is your destination. Check it out. Under that 5 ticket, Mysore ticket is there or not? If the Mysore ticket is there, then you can go. Okay. In that 5 tickets, Mysore is not there, then it's not possible. So the tickets is the partition. Got it? It's very simple, that one. Okay. So randomly somewhere you want to go. Yes, you can go. Because explicitly you have not defined. That means that is a non-partition. Okay. Now, let me dial from outside to inside, whether it's working or not. It work or not?
No, sir. It will not work. No, sir.
I'm dialing 6012013. It's not working. Then where I have to configure? Here 101, the partition I have to configure. But 101, that's not my number. That's the PSTN number. Where? This is the route pattern. Where the CSS comes. I don't have any option CSS to assign to the route pattern. CSS can be assigned only to the phone, line or device. Incoming call is not working.
Another route pattern.
Earlier it was working.
None it on.
Earlier it was working or not? When I have dialed initially it was working. Now it's not working. Okay, that will be continued. Still, we have many more things to be learned under the partition and CSS. That will be continued in the next class.
But